Hello, and welcome everyone to another edition of the Go Media Podcast. The Go Media Podcast is dedicated to tips, tricks, and tales of the business-minded artist and designer. It's our way of letting you inside of our studio to learn about the ups and downs we face here at Go Media. This is episode 27, was recorded really late on Sunday night, November 16th, 2014. My name is Bryan Garvin, and it's been a while. It's been a while since we last talked. I think the last podcast we released was WMC Fest live show, which was a blast. It was a lot of fun doing a podcast in front of a live audience up on stage. It was really cool. So anyways, thanks for obtaining this podcast in whatever method that you do. Like I said, it's really late here on Sunday. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll note that well, I'm at the office. I'm at my desk at my standing station. The office is dark. I'm alone. I actually just set the alarm off about 5 minutes ago. I guess there's like a 9 p.m. Timer on it. So anyways, but this is going to be a short episode. It's a bit of a channel update. I wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on here at Go Media, what our plans are for the podcast, and you know, why we haven't released one and why we haven't spoken with you guys since WMC Fest 5. So, before we get into the main discussion, let's take a moment for this episode's quick tip. Today's quick tip is, it's cold. So bundle up with some WMC Fest gear. We've got hoodies, like you can see there. I wear that hoodie pretty much every day. It's very nice. We also got winter caps, which are pretty stellar, as you can see. All the stuff from this year's gear is available online at store.gomedia.us. So check it out. It's very cool. This is probably the warmest hat that I think I've ever owned, for what it's worth. So, all right. So before we get into the main discussion, let's take a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. Now let's talk about what Go Media has been up to. First of all, we are hiring a project manager. As you may have heard, we're currently interviewing. We've had the job description, and application up on the website for, the last couple of months. Now, while we may have singled out a candidate for the position, it's been about 2 months since we've had someone at the helm, which means that responsibility is on members of the sales team, so Lauren or Bill, or the design team, whichever is the main designer on the team, is usually taking that role. And in some cases us on the development team. So, it's been super stressful because of that, that added responsibility. We just haven't had enough time to coordinate recording the podcast. We're, recording these conversations. And as new work comes in and ongoing projects are, ongoing, there just hasn't been enough time to really devote time to this. So that's why you haven't heard from us in a while. We're trying to, keep everything moving like it's supposed to, like it should. And it also might explain why I'm here on a Sunday night. So, but outside of that, we are also hiring an office manager, and a junior designer. So, you can go to gomedia.com/jobs for all of the open positions and job descriptions. They're all there. You can apply. It's a pretty easy process. So, definitely check it out. And as I just said, gomedia.com. That's another new thing that just happened, right around the time of WMC Fest, maybe a little after. And we've already moved the domain over. So gomedia.com is finally in our possession after a long, treacherous road of trying to, obtain the domain. We still have the .us. So gomedia.us, that's still there. But gomedia.com is going to be our new home. So, which is really cool. We're all really looking forward to it. So yeah, just along with the project manager, which was incredibly sad. There isn't a whole lot of turnover here at Go Media, so when someone leaves, it's usually a really big deal. Losing Sarah as the project manager was a big deal. But that wasn't the only big announcement that came to us after WMC Fest. The other major announcements, which you guys read on the zine, is Jeff Finley is leaving Go Media at the end of the year. So, just another month or so. Really sad, really surprising, kind of caught, most of us off guard. But you guys follow Jeff. You know what he's been doing lately. You know, feelings that he has felt, especially if you've been following him on makermistaker.com, his blog. So, a lot of stuff that he's going through, and, who knows what's gonna end up happening. He's definitely going to be around for WMC Fest this next year. He is still in very good relations with everyone here. He's a friend. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about Jeff's leaving, but obviously it's a huge deal, not just for Go Media, but WMC Fest and the podcast, you know. But despite Jeff's departure, WMC Fest 6 is going to happen as planned. He has basically relinquished control. He's no longer shouldering that load. Instead, the Go Media team, or all of us, are working together to make sure that this year's fest is just as good and better than last year's. So Heather Sakai, which is a name you guys might know, especially for zine readers. And if you volunteered or went to WMC Fest this last year, you've seen her face, you've heard her voice. She is going to take a major shoulder of the load for this next year, and we're all super excited for what's going to happen. But yeah, Heather Sakai, she has stepped up. And if you haven't read her welcome message yet on the zine, definitely check it out. We'll have it in the description of the podcast, as well as on the YouTube channel. But you'll be seeing her face, hearing her voice a lot around here as we move forward. With Jeff leaving, obviously that puts the podcast into a bit of a predicament. Jeff has been a main voice, as you guys know. He's been a main voice of the show, and really was so incredibly supportive when I presented this idea to him. You know, I wasn't sure what Bill and Jeff or the rest of the team was going to think about doing a podcast, or even having a podcast represent Go Media, but Jeff saw my passion for it and really took it on his shoulders to make it work. You might have even noticed that it was primarily Jeff's voice on the first few episodes of the podcast. Yeah, moving forward without him doesn't necessarily feel right. It's going to be hard, but we've got a few ideas that we're kicking around. You should start seeing new episodes in January or February of 2015. So, with that said, this is the final new episode, as I say, the new episode of 2014. But this channel, this YouTube channel, as well as the podcast itself, it's not going to go dormant for the rest of the winter. Instead, as you might have seen on WMCFest.com and on the zine, we've started releasing speeches of this year's WMC Fest, the speakers on our Vimeo channel. So we've received a few requests by you guys, specifically from Fanula Barrett on Twitter. She wanted them as podcasts so that she could listen to them as she pleases. You know, she could download them and listen at any time. And that sounded like a really sweet idea. And, kind of disappointed we didn't think about doing that. It was an idea for last year and it just never happened. And, but this year, this is what Fanula wants. This is what, a lot of you want. And this is what we're going to deliver. So, it's going to start later this week. It's going to continue through the end of the year. And, as long as, we have, episodes to release or speeches to release, I think we're going to try to do it maybe once a week or twice a month or something. We're still figuring out the schedule. But overall, you're going to get them as soon as they're available on the zine and on WMCFest.com and the Vimeo channel. you guys are going to have access to it. And they're going to be unedited and in their entirety. So you might get a little bit of an intro from me. If there's anything relevant that I think that we need to have said on the podcast, then I'll put it there. But otherwise, it's going to be just the speeches, which should be really cool. And I can't think of anything else that we wanted to talk about today. Yeah, I think that's it. So for more information about Go Media and the work we do, you can check out gomedia.com. We'd love to hear what you think about this conversation as well as what you'd like to hear in upcoming episodes. You can tweet us at go_media, post on our Facebook wall, or send an email to podcast@gomedia.us. You can find me on Twitter at Bryan Garvin. You can also follow Bill at William_Beachy. And of course, at go_media for all of the things that we do. And we'll talk again in 2015. See you then.